Oh, sorry. I didn't see you there. You want to know a story? Of course you do. I have a story about the English Reformation, a long, long time ago. The English Reformation of the 16th century was a chain of events in which the Church of England broke away from the Catholic Church and the authority of the Pope. It was a period of time that was much like the larger European Reformation that began earlier in the century. Henry VIII was a monumental figure during this era and played a part of catalyst during this period. He differed with the Catholic Church many times during his reign, mainly retained his multiple marriages and the annulments that were not sanctioned by the Church, and that's a no-no. He went against papal authority on many different occasions, but still considered himself Catholic. With the Act of Supremacy, he sought to usurp the authority of the Pope and use his influence instead. Our story now begins with the marriage of Arthur, son of Henry VII, and Catherine of Aragon.
We are gathered here today with this beautiful man and this beautiful bride. I'm going to cut to the chase and get to the important stuff. Prince Arthur, do you take Catherine of Aragon to be your lawfully wedded wife?
I do.
Do you, Catherine of Aragon, take Prince Arthur to be your lawfully wedded husband?
I do.
Well then, I now pronounce you man and wife. You may now hug the bride. Yay. Woo! My child.
Stop, my brother. Why does a man have to pick up sticks against another man when he can be using those sticks to prop a man up? You're my brother.
No!
You ain't God's hand now, son.
We are gathered here today, again, with this beautiful man and this gorgeous woman. Get to the important stuff. Do you, Prince Henry VIII, take Catherine of Aragon to be your lawfully wedded wife?
I do.
Do you, Catherine of Aragon, take Prince Henry VIII to be your lawfully wedded husband?
I do.
I now pronounce you man and wife. You may hug the bride.
You come here often? Well, as you saw by our little marriage, after the marriage of Henry VIII and Catherine of Aragon, Spain and England remained united under Catholic influence, but Henry VIII wanted more power. Henry VIII was young and ambitious, while Catherine was older and much more sensible and very, very religious. He tired of being her husband and began to have an affair with Anne Boleyn, a maid of Catherine. Scandalous. Henry VIII and Anne wanted to get married, so Henry sought an annulment from Catherine to the Catholic Church. He asked Cardinal Wolsey to go to the Pope in order to obtain
Pope Clement, I have a request from King Henry VIII of England for an annulment from his wife, Catherine of Aragon. Under the grounds of the fact that his marriage with Catherine was invalid from the start,
This request comes at a really inconvenient time. Return to King Henry and tell him that I'll return to this matter later.
yes, Your Excellency.
Oh, Cardinal Wolsey.
Henry VIII, I am sorry, but the Pope has declined the annulment of Catherine for a proper trial.
That is very unfortunate, Cardinal. You have angered me. Guard, take him to the brig.
It is not fair.
I hereby institute the Act of Supremacy. This act gives the King of England, me, supreme power over all other powers in the world, secular or spiritual. I command all of England to swear fealty to this law. Your maid? Yes, it is your maid. You're old and decrepit, and you've only produced a female heir. I want a male. You're not good enough. I wish to marry Anne Boleyn now. Oh,
Husband, what are you doing with this woman?
we're just discussing some affairs of the state, like maybe the marriage status of the king. You know what I'm saying? You are an adulterous person. Take her away. Let's go, woman. Ha. Hey there, Anne of Cleves. Yeah, it looks like Jane Seymour died. She was my only wife that I actually named queen, and she gave me my only male heir, Edward VI. Do you want to be my wife now?
Okay.
Cool. Hey.
What are you doing talking to this wench?
She is no wench. You're the wench. I wish to have an annulment with you in 6 months. She will be my new wife. Go. Hey, Catherine Parr.
Hey.
How you doing?
Fantastic.
So, you know, my last wife was beheaded because she was an adulterous wench, right?
Mhm.
You know, I'm lonely now.
Mhm.
You want to be my wife? You're attractive.
Thank you. I would love to be
Do you want to be
your
my
wife.
regent too?
Yes, I do.
My king, I
Oh.
do not agree with this document known as the Act of Supremacy. It is folly. I would advise you not to do this.
Are you telling me you're not going to follow my law, Thomas?
Friend, I cannot agree with this with my conscience.
Ugh. You'll be in prison for this, and Thomas Cromwell will replace you as chancellor. Guards, take him away!
No, you'll regret this. I never call you friend.
Thomas More, you are hereby sentenced to be beheaded for treachery against King Henry VIII.
Then so be it. Allah! Ah!
Hey, back again. Well, our story continues. Thomas Cromwell replaced Thomas More as the Chancellor. Henry VIII was very unhappy with More disagreeing with his Act of Supremacy. More was able to escape being beheaded for an entire year, where he was a great lawyer. Cromwell then verified the charges against More, and he was then beheaded. Cromwell was a bad man. He was a very bad man. He confiscated land of the church because of the Act.
Hello, Thomas Cranmer.
Hello, my king.
I now name you Archbishop of Canterbury. Go and do good work.
It is an honor.
The Act of Supremacy was John Fisher. He was the Bishop of Rochester. He denied to follow the Act of Supremacy because he believed the church to be the supreme authority. Because he said these things, he was accused of treachery and was then beheaded.
I'm sorry, my king, but we cannot follow these laws, for it's against the church teachings.
But I need you. It'd be much more powerful if you followed the Act of Supremacy, John Houghton,
I'm sorry, I can't,
leader of the Carthusian monks.
can't do that, Mr. King.
Then you and some of your monks will be executed for this treachery.
After this happened, Henry had Houghton and 18 other Carthusian monks drawn and quartered. Henry VIII instituted what has come to be known as the Six Articles. He established the six basic beliefs of Catholicism that he wanted to carry on. The articles included maintaining the doctrine of transubstantiation, communion under one species, masses for for the dead, the sacrament of penance, and celibacy of the clergy. Tyndale's English translation of the Bible was condemned, and heretics were to be burned at the stake.
Edward, come here! King Henry! Edward, my son. My only... Is he okay? Edward, I'm going to the light. Be king as I have been king. Crush the rebels.
I shall.
Edward took the crown after his father's death and quickly turned England to a Protestant country. Lutheranism took over and Catholicism was pushed out. The central and sacred parts of the Catholic churches were swept away and replaced with simple Protestant substitutes. Many rebellions broke out, but none were successful. Edward, who was a sickly boy, died at age 15 and was replaced by his half-sister Mary Tudor, a.k.a. Mary I. She was a very strict Catholic woman, just like her mother, Catherine of Aragon. She married a Spanish prince because Spain was Catholic. She repealed the Act of Supremacy and all of the other Edwardian enactments and pushed strong Catholic beliefs for her people. She came to be known as Bloody Mary because she slaughtered 277 heretics, including Thomas Cranmer, because of her strict Catholic beliefs. Mary only ruled for 5 years. For the duration of those 5 years, she battled constantly in Parliament. Then she died, and was replaced by Elizabeth I, son of Henry and Anne Boleyn.
After the rule of my half-sister, I have decided that I will reinstate the Act of Supremacy and take away all the Catholic reforms that she put into place. I am much more like my father than she was. Furthermore, anyone who say Catholic prayers or hold Catholic masses will be fined and imprisoned for actions against the state.
Elizabeth I was a very strict ruler against Catholics. She executed about 200 Catholic priests and bishops. She also threatened to behead any pope that came to England.
Call this Council of Trent to order. It's become obvious to me that the Catholic Church needs to be reformed. I want to have another translation of the Bible produced to assert uniformity. Also, in baptism, we are cleansed of original sin and we can attain eternal salvation.
Well, I wish to address the clerical abuses that have become so prevalent in our orders. Simony and nepotism must be stopped. We need to have a set form of education for all clergy members. These will be called seminaries.
This is what constitutes the first 10 sessions of the Council of Trent, which closed after Pope Paul III's death. Sessions 11 through 16 were called by Pope Julius III, but were useless because Protestant theologians and the lead of Schmalkalden, a group of Protestant German princes, wanted to have a part in the council. The Protestants wanted all the decisions made in the first 10 sessions to be thrown out, and for them to have a part in deciding what to make actual beliefs. They wanted to strip the Pope of all of his authority. The Council of Trent was closed once again because the Schmalkalden threatened to kill everyone who participated. Kind of harsh. Pope Paul IV called the last session of Trent. He was very strict and called for all clergy to give up material goods. If they refused, they were fined and imprisoned. He led an inquisition in Rome. Sorry, I can't speak English. He had new catechisms published and finished stating the sacraments, and did his best to abolish clerical abuses, which concluded the Council of Trent in 1563. After the death of Pope Pius IV, Pope Pius V took his place. He lived as a monk and was a very Orthodox pope, in the fact that he personally served the people of Rome. He went to the houses and administered to them. He took away all of the bishops' fancy carriages and lavish feasts. He also excommunicated Elizabeth I.
I name you Archbishop of Milan. This land has been without any bishop for 80 years. It has become a very immoral area without its religious leadership. And it is your duty to change this.
I consider this an honor, Your Excellency.
In this time as Archbishop of Milan, many attempts were made in his life. Okay. When plague struck, he stayed behind when all the others fled. He reestablished religious order in the region.
Oh no,
Oh no. Very bad. Very bad. What are you doing? What? No. Oh. Get yourself. Oh, wow. Hey. Hey, good game. Very good game. St. Philip of Neri established the Order of the Orientarians. This order was for the equal orientation and education of the Catholic clergy. He helped establish Rome as the main Catholic city. St. Teresa of Avila was a Carmelite nun who was always very sickly, but she began the practice of mental prayer, meditation, and became immersed in God. She experienced ecstasies from God and did many great things for the people of Spain. She was named a doctor of the church and is the only one of 3 women to hold this title. St. Ignatius came from a wealthy family, and in his boyhood was a knight. He established the Society of Jesus, or the Jesuits, which is a group of males that follow the teachings of the Catholic Church and are involved in every facet of the Church's ministry. The struggles of the Catholic Church in the 16th century shows the strength of the Holy Spirit and the power of faith. The people who gave their lives for their beliefs undoubtedly won over the people who tried to suppress the Catholic religion. Through all these challenges, the Church grew stronger.
I got married to the widow next door. She's been married 7 times before, and everyone was an Henry. Wouldn't have a Willie or a Sam. No Sam. I'm a eighth old man, I'm Henry. Henry the 8th I am. Second verse.